Hey YouTube, this is my first video for a series I am hoping to do. Uh, for those of you who already know me, knows that I am obsessed with watches. So this series is all about talking about my love for watches. I love wearing them. I love buying them. I love researching about them, sometimes years before I might end up actually purchasing any particular model. And I love learning what makes them tick. I love learning what makes a watch accurate, what makes a watch durable, or even what's it called? What makes it just useful. And I like learning what makes watches significant to people. I like looking at how a watch. Oh, I also like learning how it makes a watch popular or considered iconic. For a start of video wrist check, I am currently wearing, I'll take it off for the video. I'm currently wearing my Zin U1 SDR, which means black unidirectional bezel. As you can definitely see, I am not. It's not currently on the original manufacturer strap. It is currently on Barton bands. I am not sponsored. I'm just a fan. And yeah, so as you can see, it's a bit of a mismatch. I just wanted to mix it up. Gray canvas strap with a black PVC, I think it's PVD, buckle, and the black canvas strap on the other side. And I will definitely make a video about this later, just as a general review of what I love about it. For this first video, I would like to talk about one of the most iconic watches out there, or at least a direct descendant of one. That is to say, a more recent iteration of the very first G-Shock ever. I am talking about the GW-M5610. I'm just going to try and give it to you without any reflection. So just that again. So it's well known for its red line, as well as just being the G-Shock Square. For any fans of this, I'm sure you already know the basic functions of this. But with the GW-M5610, I should say, it is solar powered and it is also syncing to an atomic clock. So looks like the very first original model, the GW-5000C, but really it is a couple upgrades above that, depending on who you're talking to. It is the most recent watch I have acquired back in March 2020, but I don't remember quite when it was released, but it was fairly recent. So just to sort of enumerate the reasons, the very first reason why I love this watch is because my girlfriend got it to me. The second one is just the durability that comes with the G-Shock name, along with the other extra features I just mentioned, and just this is general design. So I'll talk more about that. So point number one, I love this watch because it's a gift from my girlfriend. It's the very first watch that I have ever received from her. Shout out to my girlfriend, Amber. She got it for me last year on our anniversary. Additionally, just over the holiday, she bought me 2 watch-related books. I'm sure some of you may already know. A Man and His Watch is something that I think if you're a watch enthusiast and have been for quite some time, you probably already have this book. But it also features a couple pages dedicated. Actually, there's about 4 G-Shocks in there, but there's a certain section dedicated to words and pictures by Kikuo Ibe. Really, his own words recalling his time starting at Casio and his whole purpose, what drove him to design the watch. So it's a wonderful book. I hope that A Man and His Watch, written by Matt Hranick. I've always wanted this book, so I'm really happy that I'm really grateful my girlfriend got it for me. But back to the watch. It's just there is something about, this is kind of a sub point of sorts. There is something very appealing. I think this is one of the things that attracts some people into the watch community and doesn't necessarily attract others. But there's something about a watch having its own icon status that you kind of want on your wrist, right? So the G-Shock here stands the test of time in terms of some hardcore enthusiasts, as well as the mainstream populace of people in terms of fashion and all that, which I'll come around to in a bit. So the next point I'd like to mention, just going back to Kikuo Ibe designing the G-Shock, the reason why he designed this watch because, according to the story, he broke his watch. Wasn't a digital watch, by the way. I think that's worth mentioning. But he broke his watch, and he really wanted to have one that he knew would be virtually be able to handle anything. I think we all sort of know there was the general rules that come along with a G-Shock, right? It's got to be waterproof to 200 meters. It's got to be able to handle dropping. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's got to handle that drop of 2 meters. But we all know that it probably handles a lot more than just that. And it's got to be able to handle 10 years of battery. But in this case, it's solar powered. So this watch is built to do what it does. It was built to last. It was built to be shockproof, water resistant, solar powered, and this particular one super accurate. So not only is it a quartz regulation, which is going to give you +1 or minus to +1 second a day, even if there is deviation, it syncs up every morning to the atomic clock in Colorado. I believe is the closest one to me, but there should be 6 atomic clocks that you can sync to in the world. But it's not the most expensive. It's not the most fashion forward watch necessarily, and it will last a lifetime, maybe even more than that. So there's point number 2. But talking about fashion though, the G-Shock is, in my mind, it's an icon of design. I'm just reading off a bit of a script here. Okay, so it's an icon of design. If you outright disagree, that's honestly, it's perfectly fine. It really is, because I also know that there's thousands of watch enthusiasts who already agree with me, and I'm totally fine with you if you don't agree with me, because I recognize that design aesthetics and who actually agrees with them, it's a very subjective thing, or it can be a very subjective thing. This G-Shock is practical yet basic, and its aesthetics are mostly extremely sporty, and not to be confused with mechanical sports watches, which are in their own way sporty and have a completely different appeal entirely in my mind. Um, but in its own way, the G-Shock can in fact pull its punches in terms of fashion. It's just got that, especially when retro vibes are in. And for those of you watch enthusiasts who do pay attention, you're gonna find a G-Shock square. You might find it in shows, but you're also gonna find its direct, relatives. It's the direct relatives like the A168 or the A158 that are made just by the base Casio line. You're gonna find those in like shows like Stranger Things or anything based in the 80s or 90s. Just it's kind of that beautiful. Just to my point earlier, just if you like something that has a sort of mainstream icon, you're going to find something related to that coming back to G-Shocks. I think I'll close off the video with this. If any of you have made it to this point, thank you. I love talking about watches, and I'm always grateful for anyone who's willing to sit down and listen to me talk about watches. And at some point I was like, just make a YouTube channel, see who's actually, really listening, right? But yeah, it's just, in my mind, it's just such a clean design. Oh, one thing that I noticed is that there are certain videos out there on the internet that do testing on the okay, so I guess I'm not closing the video where I thought it would be, but that's fine. But there are certain videos that try and talk about the optimal angle to see the LCD display, because it's somewhat well known that negative LCD supply is it LCD? Negative digital displays, whatever these are called, I think it's LCD displays. The ones where it's like the empty space is where the numbers are actually going to be, and those have actually less of an optimal viewing field than the positive displays. But even with the positive, the optimal angle to actually look at them is somewhere closer to here. I don't know if this is just a sweet coincidence, but it makes actually a lot of sense, like as opposed to straight on, because that is how your wrist tends to be when you're looking at it. So just a fun thing to note. Let me just, it's actually most optimal if your eyes are looking directly at it from there, and that kind of does tend to happen when you're looking down at it. Just something to note that I haven't seen in any other videos, and I thought it's a neat thing to mention. Maybe I'll be the first to mention it. I don't know. It is, I should mention, my second G-Shock. My first G-Shock ever is this one right here. It's an MTG 900 with a different band than it came with. Yeah. So, thanks again. My name is... didn't really think I was going to be coming up with a screen name. So, let's go with DJ. My name is DJ. I didn't just make up a name on the spot, people. I just rambling at this point. Oh, I go by either Daniel J or DJ. I think it's worth just mentioning. So, DJ. That's about it. Peace and carrots.